Judge's son detained? Lock him up.
Welcome to Audit the Audit, where we sort out the who and what and the right and wrong of police interactions. This episode
Darkest
covers...
Dungeon 2 looks like a mobile game. Weird. I also can't see your messages anymore. That's really weird. So what a weird coincidence, huh?
nervous behavior, search and seizure, and canine units, and was featured by the Junkyard News' channel, but I found the full video on Bad Governar's channel. Be sure to check out the description below and give them the credit that they deserve. Before we dive into the interaction, I want to give a big thanks to the sponsor of this episode, Surfshark. For exclusive offer now. Thanks again to Surfshark for sponsoring this episode. Marion Humphrey Jr. is a 32-year-old third-year law student who is attending the University of Arkansas School of Law in Fayetteville. Mr. Humphrey's father, Marion Humphrey Sr., is a retired Pulaski County Circuit Court judge and a well-respected pastor in the Little Rock area. On August 20th, 2020, Mr. Humphrey Jr. was driving from Fayetteville to Little Rock in a rented U-Haul truck to continue his schooling virtually at home. While driving west on I-40, Mr. Humphrey was spotted by Arkansas State Police Trooper Stephen Payton, who drove over 100 miles per hour to catch up with Mr. Humphrey. As Trooper Payton approached the U-Haul, Mr. Humphrey awkwardly missed his exit, prompting the trooper to make a stop. Mr. Humphrey pulled over immediately, and Trooper Payton got out of his patrol vehicle and approached the passenger side of the truck, but Mr. Humphrey was unable to unlock the door. Trooper Payton then went to the driver's side of the truck and asked Mr. Humphrey to step out of the vehicle. At some point, Mr. Humphrey called his father, and he was still on the phone when he exited the U-Haul.
What's so nervous for? I'm not. He's making me go to his vehicle.
Calm down, you're on camera.
Yo! Get an actual fucking mic, bro! Why do I hear fucking so much on the fucking road, bro? Get a real fucking mic.
You almost wrecked your truck, so I'm checking. Here, step over here.
That looked like a lawyer to you guys?
What? Where you headed to?
I guess that I'm going to Little Rock. And,
What's that?
I wanted to stop a night here,
Okay.
but I'm going to Little Rock.
No lawyer would ever wear shorts like those.
So you're not going to stay here now, or?
I do want to stay here. Daddy, I missed the turn, and now I need to figure out how I get on back here to 81.
Lawyer posture? Well, I mean, he's not punching couches, so he's already past the bar as far as I'm concerned. Kid's going places.
Give me the instructions. Where are you coming from today?
From Fayetteville.
Oh, okay. What do you got? What are you going to Little Rock for? You live in Little Rock?
That's where I live.
Oh, okay. What's going on in Fayetteville?
That's where I go to school.
Oh, okay. Are you going to school there this fall?
Yes. But all of my classes are remote, so I'm moving back home. And my parents didn't want me to stay tonight because of COVID-19. I'm going to be in the house. So I'm staying in another place for 2 weeks, but I can't move into that.
Okay.
Send it to another apartment in my
Why don't you just go
I can't hear them at all.
because I can't move in tonight.
Paul, thank you for the
What's in
primer.
here? You like your furniture and stuff?
Thank you for the first time sub of the primer, Paul.
Everything.
All right, hang tight right there for just a second, okay? You still nervous? You still look nervous?
Still nervous.
Is there anything illegal in there or anything?
Not at all.
You got no guns or drugs?
Anything.
Electro.
Okay. All right, nothing to be nervous about. You're not even gonna get a ticket. You're not. Hang tight. Who rented the truck?
You say what?
Who rented the truck?
I did.
You did? Okay. All right. When did you rent the truck?
Yesterday.
Okay. Then you gotta take it, turn it back into Fayetteville, or
I don't.
pick it up in Fayetteville?
I'm sorry, sir. I'm trying to figure out if you have probable cause to stop me.
Yeah, you about wrecked your truck back there. That's why I stopped you.
Okay.
That's a lane back there.
I didn't wreck it. I
almost
went into the exit, and I was like, I don't. I think that's the right exit or not. I've never stopped in Russellville.
That's no big deal. That's just my job. Make sure nobody gonna have a wreck out here.
Okay, but now you're asking all these other questions.
So is he detained on reckless driving? Is that why?
Because you're super nervous, so I'm trying to figure out why you're so nervous.
Because it's a police. The police. I don't get stopped.
Okay.
You say what, Dad? You say what? Can you speak with him? He's a lawyer.
Okay, why does he need to speak to me?
Because I just don't know why I'm stopped.
I told you why you're stopped.
Okay, all right.
I'll talk to him.
Okay, I'll take it back. I'm sorry, sir.
You want me to talk to him or not?
No, it's fine. What do I need to do?
Okay. Well, is there anything illegal in here?
Nothing.
So do you mind if I look real quick?
No, I do. Actually, I do. We can't.
You do mind?
Yes.
Okay. Well, what if I bring a dog out here?
No, I can't do it. It's like, you said it doesn't have anything to do with the potential wreck.
Okay, so here's how it works. I get probable cause to stop you. I did that. When I get up here and make contact with you, you are super nervous. Your hands are shaking, they're still shaking. Your voice is shaky. So then that makes me suspicious that it's more than just you missed your exit.
Although the Supreme Court has ruled that
Dude, Dude. Oof. Is it not, like, cool to be anxious when a cop pulls you over? Like, are you supposed to be like, yo, what's up? Yo, what's up, bro? How's it going, man? Yo, how's the wife, man? He's like, why you ask that, bro? He's like, I think you know why I asked you how good your wife is doing, bro. How's she doing, bro? He's like, I don't know what you mean, bro. He's like, you know what I mean, bro.
and evasive behavior is a pertinent factor in determining reasonable suspicion, it generally cannot be the only factor. Many courts have found that nervousness is common during encounters with members of law enforcement. For example, in the 2005 First Circuit Court of Appeals case of United States versus McCoy,
you know
the court explained that, quote, nervousness is a common and entirely natural reaction to police presence. And in the 1998 10th Circuit Court of Appeals case of United States versus Salzano, the court held that, quote, it is common for most people to exhibit signs of nervousness when confronted by a law enforcement officer, whether or not the person is currently engaged in criminal activity. The 10th Circuit Court went on to plainly state that, quote, nervousness alone cannot support reasonable suspicion of criminal activity, and took this concept a step further by recognizing that without prior interaction with a suspect, a law enforcement officer has no baseline with which to compare the suspect's behavior in the 1992 case of United States versus Bloom, and the 8th Circuit later followed suit in the 1998 case of United States versus Beck. The general consensus among the courts is that nervousness is a common reaction to being stopped by the police, and nervous behavior must be accompanied by other suspicious factors in order to satisfy the reasonable suspicion standard. It is important to note that this concept has not been universally accepted in all courts, and I am merely highlighting a trending consensus rather than an established precedent. However, the Supreme Court has routinely held that reasonable suspicion must be built upon a series of behaviors which, taken together, form a suspicious circumstance. It is highly unlikely that Mr. Humphrey's nervousness would grant Trooper Payton the authority to investigate beyond the initial traffic infraction, but the trooper continues to insist on conducting a search.
Okay.
But my mom does not want me to be driving at night, and that's why I stopped in Russellville for the first time, or I'm trying to stop in Russellville.
I just saw, and it's confusing why you wouldn't just drive on to Little Rock. It's an hour away.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
That here, he wants to talk to you, sir. Yeah.
Okay. So if I bring a dog, is it going to alert on anything?
Yeah, no, it's not going to alert on anything. I promise you. I honestly just don't want to get shot. Yeah, that's all, and I'm sorry about that. It happens. I know it happens. So I honestly, I don't want you to bring a dog.
And before the cop just says, well, I'm not going to shoot you. Well, that makes it all better.
Because I don't think that's fair to me as a citizen, as someone who, if the only thing I did was kind of, like, I did not almost wreck my car.
Well, if you don't want to bring a dog, just let me look in here real quick and I'll get you down the road.
Oh my god, dude. What the fuck is this shit?
Trooper Payton offers Mr. Humphrey the ultimatum.
Look at how close he is to him. Oh yeah, dude, he's like fucking a foot and a half away from this guy.
Allowing him to search the U-Haul, or having a canine unit come to the scene to conduct an exterior search. In order for the trooper to conduct a search, he must either obtain Mr. Humphrey's consent or establish probable cause. Given that the 8th Circuit Court, which presides over Arkansas, has already ruled that nervousness does not generally constitute reasonable suspicion, it is highly unlikely that Trooper Payton could obtain probable cause from Mr. Humphrey's nervous behavior alone. It should also be noted that the Supreme Court has ruled that, absent reasonable suspicion, officers are not allowed to unnecessarily extend the length of a traffic stop to deploy a canine unit, or do anything else outside the scope of the original investigation in the 2015 case of Rodriguez versus United States. In the Rodriguez case, the traffic stop in question was only extended by approximately 7 or 8 minutes, but the court determined that the tolerable duration of a stop is determined by its mission, which is to address the traffic violation that warranted the stop, and that, quote, lacking the same close connection to roadway safety as the ordinary inquiries, a dog sniff is not fairly characterized as part of the officer's traffic mission. After being presented with the choice of allowing the trooper to search or introducing a canine unit into the encounter, Mr. Humphrey reluctantly agrees to allow the trooper to search, but Trooper Payton decides to wait for the canine unit anyway.
I don't have to bring a dog.
I just think that's so invasive of my rights, but you can look in here if you like to.
So I have a seat right there. I'm gonna get a dog out here.
No, I don't. You can. I don't. You said just look. Which is it? Just look or the dog?
All right. I'm just gonna get.
Daddy, can I talk to my dad now? I'm sorry. I'm really dangerous. But can you talk to him in front of me because I'm just really nervous now because I know I've done it. I'm 32 years old.
You're a grown man.
Yes, but
Have you ever had any bad dealings with the police?
You're a grown man, dude. I don't think I have to explain to this guy how, like, this shit works. Does he think that, like, only black kids get, like, shot or have bad interactions with the police? Like, bruh, I mean, when was this? Yeah, this is... Like, do I have to explain to you how old George Floyd was?
I haven't, honestly.
Okay, so then I don't know. We're in Arkansas.
But you have my phone now. You said you were going to talk.
Like, I think that isn't to say that, like, every black person should be super afraid of the cops or what have you. I think everybody should be worried about the cops and afraid of the cops because the cops have kind of a crazy amount of authority. But, like, not to the point where, like, you're, like, petrified around them or anything like that. But, like, my whole point is it's, like, reasonable for this dude to be scared of the cops, you know? That's my whole point. But especially, you should be terrified when cops ask you questions, okay? Because when cops ask you questions, that's no good, all right? That's no good. Don't. Try your best to be able to only answer questions when a lawyer is present, okay? They're always trying to trap you. Everything a cop says is trying to trap you. Everything they say is trying to trap you.
You're not talking to him. Like
I'm trying to talk to you. You're the violator.
You said I don't even have anything worth the ticket, so you don't have probable cause to give me a ticket, but you have probable cause to stop me.
I do have probable cause to give you a ticket. I can write you a ticket if you want one. Have a seat right there and talk to your dad a minute. I'm going to get the dog out here.
He's getting the dog out. There's nothing in it.
Sit down on the bumper, okay?
Is this fair, Dad? Like...
Mr. Humphrey and Trooper Payton wait for nearly 20 minutes before a canine unit arrives and does a sweep of the vehicle. The dog alerts in several areas, and Trooper Payton handcuffs Mr. Humphrey and places him in the back of his patrol car. The officers search the entire U-Haul, including the loading box full of Mr. Humphrey's belongings.
Wait, hold up.
20 minutes before a canine unit arrives and does a sweep of the vehicle.
It's
the dog alerts
27:50.
in several areas, and Trooper Payton handcuffs Mr. Humphrey and places him in the back of his patrol car. The officers search the entire U-Haul, including the loading box full of Mr. Humphrey's belongings.
Wait. Okay, so when did the interaction begin? It began at like 11 or 10 minutes.
In several areas, and Trooper Payton handcuffs Mr. Humphrey and places him in the back of his
-1
patrol
day?
car.
I
the
know,
officers
right?
search the entire...
This is like when you fucking fast forward in, was it Fallout or Skyrim or whatever? You just see the fucking sky fucking...
entire U-Haul, including the loading box full of Mr. Humphrey's belongings, for over an hour. They eventually resorted to taking apart a set of roadside emergency reflectors they had found in the cab of the U-Haul and questioned whether the sand inside them, which is designed to add weight to the reflector, was actually some type of narcotic. During the search, the canine officer assured the other officers that the dog had alerted over 10 times, but this assertion brings the accuracy of the dog into question. According to a 2014 study published in the Forensic
It was an hour in 20 minutes he was there.
Science International Academic Journal, dogs are extremely good at detecting narcotics in a controlled setting, but were less accurate when searching outside or inside cars, and even more inaccurate during police examinations. One explanation for the inconsistent nature of drug-sniffing dogs is their desire to please their owner, and many of the problems associated with positive alerts that result in no findings can be associated with the handler's body language and desire for an alert. As Washington Post columnist Radley Balko points out in this article, the fact that mind-sniffing dogs tend to be more accurate than drug-sniffing dogs is a testament to their efficiency, because handlers not only have fewer preconceptions about where minds are located, but they also have an incredibly strong incentive for the dogs to be accurate about finding them. There is strong evidence to suggest that
There's a
canine
mind
units...
sniffing? How the fuck do they smell the, like, gunpowder? How the fuck do you smell a mine?
are about as effective as flipping
Yeah?
a coin. And
Jesus.
yet, departments spend upwards of $25,000 per unit to purchase, train, and house canines. Eventually, The officers
That's
ended
an
their search without
expensive
finding
doggo.
anything, but Trooper Payton maintained the notion that an illegal substance was either currently in the U-Haul or had been at some point in time.
I was trying to tell you the dog wasn't alerting to your stuff. He's alerting to the vehicle, which is a rental. So it could possibly be that somebody had something in there before you picked it up.
Bruh, dogs can smell when you're about to have a stroke? Can they? Do you have a dog? Because that fucking sentence, bro, I feel like that should be gone off. I feel like that's what it should be. Like, for half the people in my chat room, the dog should just be fucking just going wild for half the people in my goddamn chat room, man. Holy shit.
Okay.
Is that why you guys as dogs are always fucking all the fucking time?
Well, next time just don't get pulled over. Just take the exit or don't take it. Don't drive crazy.
I'm sorry,
All right,
dude.
your stuff's on the front of the car. You're good to go.
I'm tired, guys. Dude, it's like an hour has passed when I should stop streaming, dude. It's like...
Mr. Humphrey was released and issued a warning for careless driving. A day after the encounter, local blogger Russ Raykop managed to acquire an official statement from the Arkansas State Police, along with the body cam footage of the interaction. The ASP insisted that unless there are facts about the traffic stop that the department is not aware of, then they consider the case...
Dude, he has like a really wide fucking smile. It looks like, I forget what it...
closed. Mr. Humphrey's attorney, Connor Eldridge, issued a scathing letter accusing the department of racism and stating that he intends to do everything in his power to ensure that justice is served. Mr. Eldridge also filed an official public records request for all media and materials relating to Mr. Humphrey's stop, as well as several statistical reports regarding the state police's conduct for the last 5 years. The department responded by stating that it had received Mr. Eldridge's records request and would provide the information he requested. It is unclear where Mr. Humphrey has filed any official claims, and given that this interaction happened so recently, it will likely be some time before there are any new updates. Be sure to check out Russ Raykop's blog for updates on this story. You can find a link to that in the description below. Overall, Trooper Payton and the other officers get an F for displaying a fundamental misunderstanding of the reasonable suspicion standard, unreasonably extending the traffic stop for over an hour, and conducting an illegal search that rendered no evidence of wrongdoing. One element of this stop that I did not spend much time on is the fact that Trooper Payton reached speeds of up to 107 miles per hour in order to catch up with Mr. Humphrey before he even knew whether Mr. Humphrey had committed a violation. Section 27-51-906 of the Arkansas Vehicle Code defines very limited situations when a police vehicle is not required to operate the vehicle's siren or flashing lights when responding to a call or while in pursuit of a suspect. And Trooper Payton's conduct does not fit into those parameters, as it was unwarranted and dangerous. The trooper's misconceptions about reasonable suspicion and delaying traffic stops is indicative of a lack of continued education, considering that 8 circuit courts have explored these topics more deeply than most other circuits. Nearly everything about Trooper Payton's conduct during this stop, aside from the original traffic stop, was wrong, and he would certainly benefit from taking a look at the modern standards established within his jurisdiction.
True.
Mr. Humphrey gets a B+. Because although he maintained a relatively calm demeanor and remained compliant throughout the interaction, he also neglected to invoke his right to remain silent, and ultimately consented to Trooper Payton searching the truck. Mr. Humphrey allowed his emotions to get the better of him, and much of his conduct was dictated...
Wait, why do we give him a reduced score for that? Wait, why do we give him a reduced score for that?
By the fear of what the officers might do. That fear was partially realized when the officers escalated a lane violation.
He didn't act smart? So? That's like within relation to what he's doing, though. If he had nothing to, that he wanted to, if he had no fear of, the search or what have you, it was just a mild inconvenience to him, and he felt like the cop was going to drill him on the shit and do the shit anyway. Why not just say, hey, you can search the thing and then move on? I don't know. I don't know. I don't consider this to be a mark on the dude at all, personally. Long story short, I don't know how you could give this guy a B+ and some of the fucking absolute goblin sewer dwellers that we saw yesterday can get A's. I'm just gonna be honest. Some of the fucking absolute goblins that got A's yesterday could not get A's if this guy gets a B+.
into a full-scale search of his vehicle, and it is difficult to fault him for having an emotional reaction to Trooper Payton's conduct. However, Mr. Humphrey's distraught attitude ultimately led to him granting Trooper Payton consent to search out of fear of the K-9 unit. Mr. Humphrey also made no effort to record this interaction, despite having access to a phone. And although his father is a lawyer, having a recording of the stop would likely prove more beneficial in the long run.
I think that's a fair critique, is that he should have recorded it.
This interaction demonstrates the importance of maintaining composure during a police interaction and not allowing fear to compromise your innocence. It appears as though Mr. Humphrey intends to hold the officers accountable, and I commend him for following up this interaction with the proper legal action.
He said, like, if they didn't really, usually when they get, like, a non-score, it's like if they can do literally nothing in the engagement, like if they were just arrested and they weren't allowed to say anything, or if they were, like, silenced, or if they're like a kid.
Let us know if there's an interaction or legal topic you would like us to discuss in the comments below.
Nice! Okay,